Welcome back, everyone. Michael here with Offshore Citizen. Today I'm going to talk about a maybe controversial subject, one that people may disagree with, but this is what I'm going to call the dark side of digital nomads. I'm not talking about the dark side of the digital nomad life. That's a whole other conversation. This is the dark side of digital nomads. So we will see what people think of that. Before we dive in, if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button, nail the notification bell. Really appreciate your support. Share it with your friends. If you're interested in the subjects of relocating, setting up your business abroad, paying the lowest legal amount of tax possible, getting second residencies, citizenships, opening bank accounts, forming companies, all that kind of stuff, the strategy side, the implementation side, please reach out to me. You can book a call, calendly.com/Michael-Rosmer. There's a link in the description below. Check out our websites, offshorecitizen.net, offshorecapitalist.com. Send us a message through there. And I'm going to look forward to connecting with you. Okay. So I was at dinner this evening with some friends who are, quite successful digital nomads, people I do some business with, and we were kind of talking, and I think there's a common attitude which certainly makes sense, right? Which is kind of this idea of voting with your feet, right? And you say, hey, listen, I don't like it here. I'm going to go someplace that I like it. And there's tons to be said for that, right? Tons to be said with that principle. This being said, I do think that in the process of being a digital nomad, we can not only lose something, but fail to contribute something. And I would encourage people to not be these types of people, okay? And that is, how do great communities get built? How do great cities get built? How do it's easy for me to get up and leave wherever I am and go to Barcelona and say, oh, this is great, or go to London and say, this is great, or go to Singapore and say, this is great. You can look around and see this. But it's great because people invested heavily in making it into what it is today. And I think the downside today of digital nomads, it's it's great for my personal lifestyle to be able to go to a place that I like, take advantage of what I like, arbitrage costs, arbitrage opportunities, etc. You'll probably get ahead more in that regard. Yeah, there's even an enriching part of the freedom associated with that. But life is also about more than freedom. It's also about commitment. And there's something to be said from a personal satisfaction standpoint in planting roots somewhere and kind of participating in the growth of that community. So whether this is, hey, listen, I'm going to buy a place and I'm going to renovate it and make it great so that there's, nicer architecture in the future, right? You can go to Paris and you can see these beautiful buildings from hundreds of years ago that still to this day add to the value and charm of that city. Versus you can go to various parts of Eastern Europe where you see these communist blocks that had no architectural value really at all, and they're kind of falling apart, and it's a few decades later and they're kind of more of a liability than an asset, right? What are the assets that you're building in the world in where you go? And so obviously, on this channel, we talk a lot about going to different places, and I've relocated abroad, obviously myself, and I don't want to discourage somebody from doing that. What I think is valuable is that when you relocate there, relocate with the mindset that you're going to make it better. Because I think the idea is often, I'm going to go there and take what it is that I like. And, you can do that. But, what is that about the future, right? So I often say, we go and we make money, but why do we make money? We make it partially to make our lives better, but I think the other part of it intrinsically should be also to make other people's lives better. And I think the most basic goal in life should be to leave the world better than we got it, right? We were brought into this world, we did nothing to deserve anything, and just the most basic thing of being a good person is the world is better when I leave than it was when I arrived. What I come to, I leave it better off than I showed up. And if we all have that attitude of, hey, I'm going to come to this country and make it better, then, hey, listen, it's going to get better. If you think about a lot of the places that we consider good, right? You can think about, let's look at, for decades and decades, really a couple centuries, places like the US and Canada and Australia were places that people wanted to go live. Why? Because somebody else went there and made them better. When somebody immigrated initially, early settlers into, say, the US, they didn't get anything from it, right? They went there with the attitude of, I'm going to build something. And so what is it that we're building today? I feel like that attitude has been lost a little bit. And it's important. Like, there is something that we can contribute and we can add, and we should. And that partially involves getting involved in the community. It partially involves, whatever, right? There's a gazillion different ways. Like I said, the architecture, the way we contribute to the culture, employing people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, take some pride in the places that we go. Be grateful for what there is there, and I think give back to it. I would love to hear what you guys think about that. I think it's something that, again, like I just run into a lot of people in this circle who are very freedom oriented. And I think that there's a lot more to it than just freedom. So would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. If you, again, want help with any of these things, please reach out to me. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If not, hey, please let me know about that too. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you guys on the next video.